unfortunately, death is a common thing, and even superheroes are not safe from it. Hello people, it's me, the Mackem Nerd, and today we're going to count down the most tragic superhero deaths that have appeared in comics. It doesn't matter if these characters were resurrected or altered, but if they died and were declared dead, we're also including alternate universes and different versions of the character. So sit back, enjoy, and let's get started with our top one. In the storyline, The Death of Captain Marvel, we saw the actual death of Captain Marvel, who died by cancer, not in a heroic battle, which was caused by being exposed to a nerve toxin that arrived after fighting Nitros. Now, the character died from cancer, and before he died in the hospital bed. His friends and family come to pay him respects. Even his arch enemy Thanos came to pay his respects to him. This was at a time when cancer was not known much in comic books. It was known in the world and is a horrendous thing, but this was the first time that an actual character in a comic died from it. And to this day, he's been dead. In Alan Moore's critically acclaimed Watchmen graphic novel, near the end we know everyone is basically surviving, but Ozymandias, as it's pronounced, is declaring that he will wipe out half of the world to save the rest. He'll do this by launching an attack. The Watchmen agree to keep this a secret so his plan can succeed, until the uncorruptible Rorschach decides against it and decides to leave and plans to tell him, until Dr. Manhattan has to come in and he obliterates him in a go. Rorschach was obviously one of the most fearful characters in the comics, and to see him die, but also die by one of his friends, was kind of a heart-wrenching moment for fans. And it was it was done in the film adaptation as well, which was also heartbreaking. The Ultimate Universe in Marvel Comics, or Earth 1710, has Morales as their Spider-Man. But before that, they had a Peter Parker who was like the ordinary Spider-Man. He was an average teenager, went to school, did everything. Unfortunately, during one of his battles with the Green Goblin, he suffered some serious injuries and died from them, surrounded by his loved ones, friends. And because of this, Miles Morales became known as the Ultimate Spider-Man of that Earth. And Peter Parker has been dead from that Earth since that day. And Miles Morales has also been received praise, so the chances are they'll never bring back Peter Parker from the Ultimate Universe, but also it's no longer around the Ultimate Universe. Number 2, we have a very classic battle, which was known as Death of the Superman, which came out in 1993, and at this time everyone thought that Superman could not die. This all changed when he went toe-to-toe with the Kryptonian monster known as Doomsday and died. Superman actually died. Although he did come back later on, it was the first time where fans acknowledged that Superman could actually die. And it was kind of a heartbreaking moment as he lay dying in Lois Lane's arms from his injuries. Before we get to number 1, here are some honourable mentions that we failed to mention. Number 1, we have Jason Todd, or the Second Robin. Now, Jason Todd was not very well received by fans during his run, so there was a phone debate to decide, should the Joker kill Jason Todd or should he let him live? And the public voted, and Jason Todd was killed. But the way he went was brutal. The Joker managed to kidnap him, tortured him, beat him up with a crowbar, and left him bleeding out to die. And just before Batman could even reach him, he set a bomb to go off in the building, and Jason Todd was killed during the explosion. Of course, Jason Todd came back years later, known as the Red Hood, who has been praised and is receiving astonishing reviews since he first did fame, and fans are loving him. But it was a brutal way for this character to die so he could be resurrected. But Jason Todd will always be one of the saddest superheroes' deaths. Okay guys, that's my top 5 tragic superhero deaths in comics. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to put a thumbs up down there, comment on what else you'd like to see, and remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it to get notified when I've uploaded a new video. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.